Welcome to Veteran to Veteran. I'm Conrad Kaskowski, and along with me is Dwayne Wick. As you can see, we're both members of the American Legion Post 243 here in Plymouth. And okay, Wayne's hat, I have to always explain, it's a little different. He's way up there. He's the county
Or district.
district vice commander. He was involved with the county at one time. Now he went up, and now he's a district second vice commander.
And that's
So-
also Plymouth, Wisconsin, for the viewers that,
Oh, yeah, because I know that we're kind of, people pick us up on YouTube. Plymouth, Wisconsin, Post 243. All right, this episode, we're going to be talking about a topic that people really don't like to talk about, but they have to. And it's about veteran death and burial benefits.
and yes, we unfortunately have stories of veterans and non-veterans that have passed away, leaving their families with a lot of questions, and mainly, now what do we do?
Okay, the very basic, and it's not necessarily for just the veterans, for everybody, must and should have a will.
And what's the definition of a will?
Well, okay, generally speaking, it's a legal document, and it coordinates the distribution of your assets after death. And it can also appoint guardians of minor children. The will is important because it allows you to communicate your wishes clearly and precisely.
Do I need an attorney to make up a will?
Well, an attorney is not necessarily required. However, an attorney can help you through questions about giving you advice on estate planning strategies, living wills, and stuff like that. Also assist you with recording that will, because I know some people say I can do this on my own. Okay, well, if you do it on your own, make sure it is recorded and registered at the Register of Deeds, and then you keep a copy in a secure place. For instance, you do it with an attorney, the attorney would keep a copy, the attorney would have it at the Register of Deeds, and then you would have a copy. So, it's kind of a spread around, people know about it.
I just talked with a gentleman today, and I said, "Do you have your DD 214?" He said, "Yes, I do. It's in the safe in the basement." I said, "Do you have it registered with the County Register of Deeds?" And he said, "No, I don't." So I said, "Do that. Make sure you get that copy registered with your County Register of Deeds." So you have a will in place, and I'm a veteran, so what do I do next?
Well, I'm going to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. Just as he got done, get your DD 214 and secure it.
All right. You might want to remind everyone again to do this.
All right. I've said it, but now I've got a picture for you, all right? So I know you're running around looking for a pen or pencil and piece of paper and yelling around, so you'll see this again. This number is for the Sheboygan County Veterans Service Officer in Sheboygan Falls. Used to be at the courthouse, but it's in Sheboygan Falls. You can't find your 214, you don't know where it is, you're not sure, give these folks a call, all right? They will start the search for you. And when they get it for you, and it's not gonna be overnight, make sure that it's secured and registered at your Register of Deeds. And for the people out of Sheboygan County, contact that service office and get some help on it. You want to do it online, fine, but contact your service officers.
Okay, so I have a will in place. I have my DD 214 registered and secured. What's my next step?
Well, this is the tough part. People don't like to get involved in this, but you're going to have to face facts. Pre-planning your funeral. And You contact a funeral home, or you can contact several of them, and don't be afraid to ask about pricing and planning and how does it get paid? You know, the funeral director will give you alternatives on stuff like that, suggestions. Do I use my life insurance? Do I use trust funds? Whatever. You know, that's something that you should be doing.
Okay, so now we're getting there. We've got our will in place, our DD 214 secured. We've contacted a funeral home. Now what?
Well, now you are eligible as a veteran for a burial plot or niche in a crematorium.
Okay. And what is available to veterans in regards to burial benefits?
Okay. Now that you've done all this and you're working with your funeral director, you are eligible for basic military funeral rites. And they can be done at the funeral home, they can be done at a church, or they can be done at the burial site.
And what's included with that?
Okay, in regards to the military funeral rites, there is a flag. It's referred to as a casket flag. It's a rather large flag. There's anywhere from 2 or 3 flag folders, and there's the playing of taps. And many times the funeral director will work with an area veterans service organization, such as the American Legion, the VFW Department, the Disabled Veterans. And in certain cases, that funeral director might even be calling the Wisconsin Department of Veteran Affairs, especially if that veteran happened to be a career retired enlisted or officers, because and you and I had attended one that was really special. It was a sergeant major from the Army, and there was a lot of this brass that had showed up, and in fact, at that time, the current sergeant major of the Wisconsin Army National Guard was holding the door open for us as we were leaving to do the ceremony, and I mentioned to him, I said, well, this is the highest ranking personnel I've ever had to hold a door open for me. And he never missed a beat, and he said, I will hold the door open for any veteran. Good guy.
Great, great. What about a burial site?
Okay. Veterans are eligible for state and national cemeteries. And I know I've been asked, well, can you be buried in Arlington? Sure, you can be buried in Arlington, but number one, be prepared for a very long wait, even for the registration to pre-registration. That can take several months. Okay, so now you somehow got through and you're registered at Arlington. You can also wait several months for the actual burial, because I checked and they only do 3 and at the most 4 burials a day, Monday through Friday only. Okay, there is a national cemetery in Wisconsin. It's adjacent to the Zablocki Medical Center. It's called the Woods Cemetery. Again, it's the space is extremely limited, and it's going to take you a long time to get all of that pre-registration and everything done. So be prepared. Now, there are 3 state cemeteries. One, they call the Northern Unit, that's in Spooner. The next one they call in the central part of the state is at King, Wisconsin, and that is in Wapaka County. And then there's what they call a Southern Division in Union Grove, which is in Racine County. Okay, you need to, and I highly recommend you do a pre-registration, and I'll explain that at another time. That paperwork it doesn't have to be, but it sure makes a lot easier if you have everything pre-registered, no matter what choice you make as far as the cemetery.
Okay. So what else is included with the burial site?
Okay, now we're just talking about the burial site. If there's a casket involved, it includes the plot, the burial vault, headstone, and perpetual care of the site. For cremation, there's a niche that's given or set up, and whatever is proper in how that is. I've yet to see one of these areas. I can report it at another time. There's no cost in these sites. The plot, the vault, and all that. There's no cost involved in that. Now, the veteran spouse is allowed to be buried with the veteran.
Okay.
There's a nominal fee, there is a fee involved with the spouse.
Okay. So can there be any additional cost?
Oh, yes, because depending on what you worked out with the funeral director, which depends on the services and your wishes, aside from the military rights, because there's no cost associated with that. But then there's state, county fees, such as for the coroner, permits, such as for cremation, and then you'll have your burial plot that have to take care of. You don't like, you have a special headstone. Those are all going to be extra costs on you.
Okay, okay. So let's go over it again. So we have a will. We've secured our DD 214. We've contacted our Veterans Service Office. We've contacted a funeral director and selected a national, state, or a private burial site.
Now, probably the most important part of the entire thing is talk it over with your family. Let them know what your wishes are. Where are these things? What have you done? Hopefully you have everything all in place. Because face it, when that time comes, and if you experienced it, there's a lot of grieving, and it's like, what do I do? How do I do this? If it's all done, it is so much easier than not only for the family, but for the funeral director. That funeral director, if it's all set up, doesn't have to get into all your personal whatnot in your life and all this other stuff, because it's been all laid out. Now,
Make sure that that your family, more than your spouse, knows where all of this information is.
exactly.
Because like you said, the grieving process of the spouse, she may say, I don't remember where that stuff is.
Yeah, and that's why if this is all done, and if you have it even done with a funeral director, everything may be there or what, but again, let people know. Now, we only covered such a small basic part. We are going to continue this in our next episode because we left a few things out because we wanted the veterans to get to the basic. I mean, this is very basic.
Most
but
of the time with this, you raise more questions than what you've answered.
Right, but again, that 214, the will, all that, you need help. Give the folks over here, you Sheboygan County folks, give the county service officer a call, set up a phone appointment, and see where you're at, see what kind of help they can help you with. Not only with this, but you might have some other questions, okay? So that being said, we all want you to stay healthy and join us for part 2 on this discussion. Thank you very much.
Right.